Hi everyone, welcome back to Beirich. I still have Sashwath with me, so I thought I'd get another video out before he heads back to university. And this is a book which I've spoken about, Anand has spoken about, and Sashwath is rereading this book right now. And I think it's a great book to carry forward with what me and Sashwath was speaking about before. How the human mind is such a complex thing, and it influences in ways we don't even know and don't even understand how it influences us. Our thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts can overtake us and consume us, and we realize much later when we wake up from the hangover of thinking that we've been overthinking some things. So this is a great book. Why don't you get us into it, Shashwat?
Yeah, it's a very easy read. Easy in the sense that yes, it's decently long, but you'll get through it very fast because it's very interesting. It's not like your regular books, which is hammering you down with a lot of content and information. Yes, there's a lot of information in this, don't mistake me, but it's put in a very eloquent way. And there's a lot of stories which are very fun to hear and understand and relate to. So, for example, one story in this book talks about how there's an economics principle where it's demand and supply, where if the price of a product goes up, the amount people want to buy it comes down. However, it talks about a story where there's this jewelry store owner who tries to sell sort of unorthodox jewelry, and it doesn't go too well. So she puts a sale on the jewelry, and instead of saying $20 marked down from $200, she ended up pitching it up by adding an extra zero. So what ended up happening was that the sale sign read a much higher amount, a 20% increase rather than a 20% decrease. And to her surprise, she sold out. So that goes against it's counterintuitive to our thinking, because we'd assume that, it's already not selling. By increasing the price of it, how does that make sense?
Then claiming it's a sale.
Yeah, then claiming it's a sale. Well, it makes a lot of sense because look at us and how we operate. When we look at a quality product, and then you see a price tag on it which says it's been marked down, or it's cheaper than your average product in that range, but it's a quality product, we end up thinking, hey, there must be something wrong with this for them to be selling this for such a small amount of money. We see this with houses a lot. A house which has been and it's generally true. It's a heuristic which we all use. Heuristic means a shortcut or a rule of thumb. And it's true. Generally, an apple with a rotten spot on it goes for a cheaper amount than a well-formed and good tasting apple. However, what you have to understand is that this trick can be used in the opposite way, where you can price an apple with a rotten spot on it for a much more amount of money. And what you end up seeing is that people end up buying it. So that's one of the principles which is illustrated by a very nice story. And the contrast principle is illustrated in it, where it talks about this girl who writes to her parents, deliver to them the news of her failing a grade, failing a course in college. And she prefaces the letter by saying that she ended up, eloping with a guy and so on and so forth, and living with him, and the house caught on fire. A big dramatic story. And finally, she ends it by saying, actually, everything I said before was a joke. It didn't actually happen. But, however, I did get a failing grade in one of my classes. And it achieved the intended effect, where the parents sort of had a heart attack by reading everything before. And then finally, once they found out it was a joke, they had a sort of sigh of relief. And then they finally saw that, she got a failing grade. But that doesn't seem so bad compared to all the other information she put forth. A lot of the stuff we use unintentionally is talked about explicitly in this book. And one principle in this book also talks about reciprocity, which means I give you something, you give me something back. And there's a sort of exploitation which people do sometimes, which is, you guys must have used it in your lives. And I've used it definitely with my parents, where I do something nice for them, and then I preface it by asking for something much more expensive, which is like exponentially outweighs what I've done. Yes. So I'd maybe do one good deed for the day, and maybe make my bed really nicely, clean around the house, and then I'll end up asking for something which is ludicrous. And to my surprise, half of the time it does end up working because they're in a great mood and they're willing to, they're great parents as well. That being said, these kind of things are used for malicious purpose as well. And this book sort of safeguards you against this intent. And you must have seen, it talks about the Hare Krishna committee, where they end up giving you roses and then expect you to give them a donation. And because they've given you something, you feel the necessity to give something back. And that's something which is talked about in Influence. And there are many more of these lessons. I don't want to spoil the book for you, but there are many, many more lessons in this book where it talks about social proof, which is, if you guys have gone on long drives between intercity, you would have seen in toll gates or toll booths, one toll booth will have like an enormous line and another toll booth will have no one, even though that other one is functioning. Because people assume there's something wrong with it.
Correct.
Because no one's going there. And then you decide to be an experimental person and you take that other one thinking, hey, why is no one going there? And then you find out that everything's fine. People just don't want to take that one because no one else has taken it. So stuff like this is very common, and it's very useful for the stock market because there is a lot of mob mentality in the stock market, and you might end up finding bargain prices by being contrarian to what other people are doing. It may not always work, but in the times when you actually identify such an opportunity, it makes for huge returns. And this book is a book which Charlie Munger has also recommended explicitly in his Harvard speech, which had gone viral at the time in which he gave it. So yeah, what do you have to say about this book?
This is very true in our modern day technology. You see this in phones and watches. MKHD had done a video recently about a smartwatch is available for $69. And in that, he's so remarkably shocked that that watch, which is $69, yes, it doesn't look as fancy as an Apple Watch, the finish. It does have a little bit of an aluminum plasticky feel. But it does everything which you need it to do. It does your time, it does your notifications, it does your health monitoring and whatever. And the other side of the spectrum, you have Garmin, which is selling its Mark Q at almost $3,000 or $4,000. And you see, it's just what Sashwath was saying, marking up something. In terms of functionality, it's both basically doing the same thing. For a layman who uses a watch, pretty much the level I use, a $69 watch can do everything the Mark Q does. But when you see it, you do feel attracted to buying the Mark Q because it's just the reason of this persuasion psychology where you think you're going to be exclusively in a club. And you'll tell yourself things like the Apple Watch Ultra, though it's meant for people who go outdoor hiking and who go climbing mountains. It has altitude meter and all that. Most people don't even do any of that. But we just feel like we might aspire to climb a mountain one day. We aspire to go and do river rafting or jump into the ocean and do some deep sea diving. So we are future-proofing ourselves by buying this and investing.
Yes.
And we tell ourselves, that's another thing we should tell ourselves, that we're investing into this product.
Yeah.
And we are future-proofing it. So tomorrow, when we do feel like doing it, it is available for us.
Yeah.
And that is purely psychology of persuasion and effect, and the marketing, the way they push it down to you. It's your soul, this notion that you might need this. You don't know, You may become Dwayne Johnson. You don't know. You might need that head shaver. You don't know. So it's incredible how we will tell ourselves and sell our stories to ourselves and narratives to ourselves and how we trip ourselves up. And that is one of the main reasons Anand keeps saying we fail to invest, we fail to make money. It's not just simply letting go of gratification now. It's beyond that. You don't even need it. Gratification is something you really need, and you buy it and you feel gratified. This is beyond that. This is buying things you absolutely don't need, things you will not use, but you just buy it because you are so hooked on to that marketing machine, which feeds you all the time. Amazon and Swiggy, everybody's pushing down your throat. You just can't say no after a while, and it's human nature to fall for it. That's one of the best things to do, is to unplug yourself from it. Go old school, read a book. I know you can go my way and you can get yourself a Kindle and do a Kindle. But if you say I'm going to read on the phone, if you say I'm going to use the iPad, the problem is you're not left alone in those devices. There's constantly having like 2-3 children around you going like this, nudging you all the time. It's nudging you. You get those notifications, you're reading, you're writing, and something falls down, crops down on you. A ping comes. text message comes, a WhatsApp thing comes. You just like constantly you're being pulled away. That's why I strongly advise you not to try and engage on serious mind activity on a device. That's why I don't encourage for people who say they'll take notes on the phone. I'm going to track my expenses on the phone. I'm going to track my calories on the phone. It doesn't work because simple reason is I eaten something. I want to track it into my calorie tracker. I open the app. It's normal to immediately see an email notification and get sucked into it. And before you know it, you've gone down a rabbit hole and you forgot to write it down. Then couple hours later, like, damn it, what did I exactly eat? How much was it? I think it was 1.5 bars. So I think it was, how many rupees did I spend? Wait, I think I gave 100 rupees and he must have given me 20 back. So let me just enter that. So you kind of start guessing. It's like what I did with Keshav and everybody else about their weight. And I called Chandar in and Chandar couldn't even, it's been a year since he weighed his weight. First he said 80. Then when I told him he has to pay me 200 rupees when I go get a weighing scale, immediately changed it and said 95. It went up by 15 kilos. So this is the reason why you cannot use a device to track things. You have to go old school and have a book and a pen. I didn't bring my book and pen today because I just walked into the office just to get these videos out with you guys. But I usually have a small book and pen with me nowadays, and I keep jotting everything down from ideas to whatever I want to track. I put it all down on a book and a paper because it cannot distract me. It cannot suck me away and allows me for some time of boredom. And boredom is very important. It's a big part of allowing your mind to rest is allowing some boredom to creep in. When you're feeling bored and your anxiety is allowed to surface and, get itself tired, that's the best way to beat anxiety. You cannot chase it away. You cannot wish anxiety away. What's the best way to do anxiety is like having a little child. Sometimes you allow the child to just run around for a while and get tired and go to sleep. When you're feeling bored and you allow your anxiety to surface, yes, it's very uncomfortable when that anxiety comes and it's running around amok and you feel like reacting to it. Don't. Just sit with that anxiety for a while. It'll run around. Then after a little while, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, your anxiety will get bored and tired and it'll go and sit back in its corner and you'll be much better for it. The same is true with all these psychological things. If you feel like buying something, switch off for a while and go do something else for a while and come back. Do you still feel the urge to buy it? Something to try. But there's lots of things like what Charlie says. It helps you to equip yourself with this knowledge. You know that you can't be tripped and fall. All of you wonder, sir, why am I not able to save? Why am I always buying crap I don't need? Read this book. We'll understand why. Anyway, thanks for watching the video today. I hope you found it informative and entertaining as always. It was lovely to have Sashwath back in the studio with me, and I will try and pull him in more for you guys because I know a lot of you guys do enjoy having Sashwath here and having a conversation with him. Thanks for watching, Be Rich.
Thank you.
And take care of yourself out there.
Thanks.
Bye.
So after Kuwait, my team has decided to do an event in Trivandrum. Those who are desirous of meeting me in Trivandrum can contact our team at trivandrummp@gmail.com, the mail ID given below, or the WhatsApp number given below. My team would fill in you with the details. The event would be in January 2024. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.